like in and out, getting all pixely. That was like happening a lot last week. I guess this is about to be a thing for a little bit, going live every Sunday. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, buddy. Yeah, buddy. We back at it with another one. Let's see what we got here. Well, what am I doing? What am I doing? I don't know. But um if you guys look in the description, there is a quote which this live is going to be centered around. We're gonna be putting some godly vibes out in the air on Sunday mornings to start everybody day off right. Um, Hopefully everybody that's tapping in and tuning in, you got a relationship with God, you got a relationship with your creator. And over here, um, with that being said, from my perspective, you got a relationship with Christ. Um, so yeah, get right with the Lord. You feel me? Outside of that, I still wish nothing but love and prosperity to anybody that's tapping in and that's listening to me speak and watch me. But the quote, I'm gonna read it out loud. The quote says, "Where these passions cease to be active, there the world is dead." Someone has said of the saints that while alive, they were dead. For though living in the flesh, they did not live for the flesh. See for which of these passions you are alive. Then you will know how far you are alive to the world and how far you are dead to it. Insane. That's an insane quote. So we're going to be talking about the different passions, right? We're going to be talking about how these passions affect us right now to this day and how you can overcome that with virtue. And these are the eight passions. We got gluttony, we got lust, we got avarice, we have anger, we have despondency, despair, vainglory, and pride. And the one thing that we have to pay attention to and look really, really closely at is, are these passions fueling the world that we're living in right now as we speak? Is it fueling our social media feed? Is it fueling our everyday life? And that would tell us how far we are from the creator, which we all are looking for. We all are looking for. So is love of riches fueling us? Is the desire for possessions fueling us? Is bodily pleasure from which comes sexual passions fueling us? Is arrogance and pride of position fueling us? Is craving to adorn ourselves with luxurious clothes and vain ornaments fueling us? And is the itch for human glory, which is a source of rancor and resentment and physical fear, fueling us? And if so, we are looking in the wrong direction, to be quite honest. And going through those first eight um passages that I read off of, I just named them off. So the first one, gluttony, is the excessive eating and drinking going beyond our natural needs. Are we eating and drinking too much? Lust, uncontrollable sexual desire, avarice, excessive love of money and possessions, anger, uncontrolled and destructive anger, despondency, a state of sadness and discouragement leading to a lack of hope, despair, a complete loss of hope, vainglory, excessive pride and love of praise and recognition, pride, a general overestimation of oneself and lack of humility. If you step outside and look at nature, And this is what I did honestly yesterday. I was outside walking for probably like, I want to say 2.5 hours. I went to nature reserve, and I just sat there and I was just walking. I was walking, I was listening to the word, and I was like in a state of prayer. Like like for anybody that's just coming in, this stuff is like fairly new to me. I just started doing this stuff like within the last like 3 or 4 years because internally something was off. Something was like off. Mind you, mm, I played basketball. That was like my thing. Chasing a dream, chasing a hoop dream. Um, had a decent amount of friends around me. Still got a decent amount of friends around me, but something simply felt off. And it felt like the world I was living in was a lie. It wasn't, it wasn't, it was off. It was simply off. You stop using dollar store razors. And it's pretty funny. Um, but ultimately speaking, it felt as though people were being disingenuous. A lot of people were so focused on their phones and how they were being presented to the world rather than focusing on who they truly are as people. And I knew that. And it felt like I was doing absolutely the same exact thing. And the one thing that was starting to grow in me was where my relationship with God was at, to be quite honest. That started being more important to me than anything else. And that took time for it to like grow me, and I'm still on this walk as we speak. But when you chase these passions that I just listed off and named, you are going to be dead to your true self, and your true purpose ain't going to come to you. Your true purpose is not going to come to you. You're going to be living a shell of your life, and you're going to be altering the person that you truly supposed to be. And not only that, people aren't as they're gonna miss out on the light that's supposed to be shined through you, which through the light that you shine, like outside of yourself, is gonna affect other people once you truly walk in your purpose, and you're gonna guide people towards their own light that's within them. And we all share that same common light. But the passions is gonna lead us further into darkness. And we are clearly seeing that right now. But due to the fact that so many people are walking in their own darkness, it's hard for them to notice that they'll keep running into brick walls and keep tripping over themselves, to be quite honest, and tripping over other people. And when you decide to die to these things that's within you, these passions that's fueling you, you're going to find what life is truly and really about, to be quite honest. I hope that you guys that's watching is that that's something that's been curious for you guys, like that's within you, of finding your own virtues to live off of instead of being fueled by the passions, because they lead to the death of your spirit and soul when it's all said and done. Once you do find your true purpose, your life is truly going to change. It's truly going to change, and most likely you're going to be living a life that's completely contrary to w- what you previously was living. You believe how it took to find a non-Indian channel, a bunch of people just sleeping. I mean, it's first thing in the morning. I'm pretty sure like where I'm at is Sunday. Ain't nobody gonna be up on a Sunday morning. Probably gonna get up in the next like 3 or 4 hours. But thank you guys for tuning in, to be quite honest. It's unbelievable. That's hilarious actually. Um, but yeah, it's a hard thing getting up first thing in the morning and getting straight to it. That's like super hard. But when if a lot of people don't have nothing to live for themselves. A lot of people live for other people, to be quite honest, which means that they're lost themselves, going back to the blind leading the blind. And as time is going on, we are going to be living in a world that's fueled by that, fueled by people looking at trends and believing that that's where their purpose lies, and something that's going to last a day, a week, or a couple of weeks, but no longer than a month before they have to find the next thing instead of finding that eternal source that's within themselves. And this is so far fetched from a lot of way people think and feel nowadays. But at the same time, I will speak on these regards because it's important that it's just out there. And I'm not the only one that's speaking about these things, to be quite honest. Definitely not the only one. But um it's possible. That's the long-term goal, is that you have to align your will with God's will in order for your purpose to truly come about. You have to align yourself with the what the creator has in store for you in order for you to move how you truly are supposed to move. And you must also deeply know inside, by you moving like that, you're going to go against the grain of what most people deem as respectful, worthy, and ultimately that's going to grant you access into life. But you have to die to yourself every single day in order for you to really, for your purpose to actually come through, for you to get it with clarity and insight. You have to live with this every single day. It's something that I talk about with gaining access to your true purpose. Is going to be like you're growing with another person and growing with another personality that you're going to have to nurture every single day. Every single day. It's almost as if you're practicing playing an instrument, practicing playing a sport, practicing writing or practicing singing. The more you keep doing it, the better that you're going to get every single day at whatever it is that you going after. But this is the scary thing about life. Are you going in the right direction or are you going in the wrong direction? A lot of people think that there's a gray area to things. I don't believe so. I think that things are either good or evil, light or dark, um, life or death. There's no in between when it comes to that. And thinking that there's an in between, that's a subtle form of deception. That's just something that I'm growing to realize as of recently. Um, But when you really truly decide to live this life through the lens of love and humility, you'll be shown that that love and humility was given to you first by the creator that created absolutely everything. Seriously, a lot of people don't like to think like that, and it's hard to think like that due to the fact that there's so many calamities that's like happening in the world. There's so much evil stuff that's going on in the world that it's like, what? That's really, really hard to believe. But at the end of the day, for anybody that's watching, you literally have a purpose to serve. And that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you authentic. That's what makes you who you truly are. And your sole purpose is to live that out until you get to the absolute very end of your life, until that expiration date hit. A lot of people are circling around that for themselves instead of hitting the bullseye. If you look at the Purpose Serve logo, that's exactly what that is. Like when it's all said and done, you want to know that you hit the mark and you served your purpose. You served your purpose. That's essentially the meaning of Purpose Serve. Because, like I said, it's needed. And once your antennas go up, you're going to start to truly realize that everybody's not living their own life. They live in a copy and paste of somebody else's life, which is ridiculous. Which they're gonna get to their expiration date and they're gonna be super confused. They're gonna be filled with regret, filled with shame, and wanting a second chance. and wanting to redo everything. But this is the important thing, and this is the most beautiful and amazing thing about life in itself is every breath that you take and every moment that you get to experience that you got that chance. It's not about yesterday and it's not about tomorrow. It's about right now. Sufficient is the day. Let tomorrow be anxious about itself. Let tomorrow be anxious about itself. But the one thing that's been piquing my interest as of late, and the one thing that I've been reading about and watching videos is about is people that's decided to drop everything and then drop their way of life and decide to go into the desert to become a monk. That's like insane to me. That is insane to get closer to God. But that right there is something that's like such a high spiritual act and a high spiritual calling that mm, it amazes me. It literally like it blows my mind that these people, especially the ones like in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth century, with no technology, no phones, that they decide to drop everything with and just go into the desert. What what kind of what and with the hopes of being in union with God. Last week, I believe that I spoke on silence and waking up and starting your day off in silence, checking in with yourself instead of having a habit of turning over and picking up your phone and you checking your notifications first thing in the morning instead of checking in with yourself first thing in the morning. That's unnatural to people nowadays. Taking a deep breath, connecting with yourself, seeing what thoughts is going on in your head. You should jot down your dreams if you have a dream and make that your priority. And silence tend to give you so much more clarity than being bombarded with noise. The moment that you wake up, the moment that you wake up, you just got to go on TikTok and you got to get the scrolling. You got to go on Instagram. You got to get the scrolling. You got to see what's going on and see if you missed out on anything. That's nuts. Instead of, like I said, checking in with yourself and seeing where you at in this thing called life in this universe. You know what I'm saying? Super important. And ending your night like that as well, instead of being on your phone and scrolling, just check in with yourself and go through your whole entire day of what just happened for you to get into that point where you laying down and gearing yourself up for the next day. And thanking God for the day that you just had to be able to make it back in bed to the point where you could go to sleep. For those that's like gracious and grateful enough to have that type of situation. But a lot of the things that we chase, we're not going to be able to take them with us when our expiration date do hit. We're not going to be able to take the money with us. We're not going to be able to take the rank with us, the job titles, the position, the cars, none of it. They stay here and they're going to deteriorate as time go on. But you got something that's dwelling inside your physical body right now. You got a soul, and your soul is going to leave your body once you deteriorate. Now, depending on your actions and your deeds and how you went about living this life, it's going to determine if you got a light soul or you got a heavy one. Every day, you should try to find the light within your soul first and foremost, because that's the thing that's eternal within you. And you should be aligning that with the spirit of God every single day, because every breath that you take is that thing that's connecting you to God, because God gave you that breath. God made your soul a living soul once He breathed His breath into you. And that truth is with deep down within you. But you got to get through all the bombardment of noises and chaos in order to find that peace that's directly in the middle of you, that light that's directly in the middle of you. And once you get to that light, you will find your true calling. But you have to disassociate and let go into, you got to surrender that everything that's around you. You got to like let it go. You have to let it go in order for you to get that peace that you're looking for, that's beyond any understanding that you could possibly comprehend. You have to stop lying to yourself. Um, and the fact that you are here, there's a reason for your existence. You are a blessing to somebody, whether you believe it or not. Um, and that clarity will come to you as long as you look it for it through the lens of truth and peace. And faith, hope, and love will come to you. And you won't have to worry about despair, the complete loss of hope. You won't have to worry about despondency, which is a state of sadness and discouragement leading to a lack of hope. Because a lot of people are walking around with discouragement, with fear, and they do not have hope at all, which means they're walking around in a state of despair. And the effects of what that's going to look like and how that's going to physically play out into the world, there's only destruction that can come from that. There's nothing good that can come from that, straight up. When you living off of hate that's inside of you, there's nothing good that's going to come from that. Not at all. When you living off of pride, there's nothing good that's going to come from that. You're always worried about the next person. You're always worried about being the best. And like I said, this is coming from a person that played basketball. I still do play basketball, but it's just strictly for fun now. But let it all go. Let it all go, and to surrender to life itself, and your true purpose is going to come. God will enlighten you. God 100% will enlighten you. And I pray that all of y'all like receive that, that's listening right now, because y'all mean something to this world. Whether anybody ever told y'all that or not, you heard it here first. But nah, seriously though, all joking aside, and you guys have to go out into the world and shine y'all light in this dark place, in this thick cloud of darkness. Be beacons of light, be beacons of hope, be beacons of love, be beacons of faith, be beacons of humility to other people, so they know where to go within themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this live is about to end short. This is gonna be a quick little one. That's all I gotta say. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Let's go. Let's go. But yeah, world every day. Die to this world. Don't be doing what everybody else is doing. Don't be feeling like you're left out. You ain't left out of anything. Don't copy nobody. No two snowflakes are alike. So be who you meant to be. Be authentic. Be unique, and change this world for the better. And there's not a lot of people out there that's like that. There's only a remnant. There's only a small amount of people. There's only a small amount of people. But be one of those. Be on the side that's going to take the narrow path instead of taking the wide path that leads to destruction that many are going down. Find the light of God within yourself, and there's a way. The Holy One showed us that there's a way, and that's where your true purpose will come from. I can't stress that enough. I literally can't stress that enough. And if you look outside of yourself for your purpose, you will never find it. You might as well give up right now. you might as well give up. You will never find your purpose looking outside of yourself. You can only find your purpose from truly looking deep down within yourself, examining yourself, not being too critical in yourself and not being too hard on yourself, but dealing with yourself through the lens of love and humility and showing yourself grace because that grace was given to you by the creator that created all things. And that's all I gotta say. I thank y'all for tuning in another Sunday with me. Most likely I'm gonna see y'all next Sunday. And if y'all want to hear more from me, go download the Purpose Served podcast. Go check out the Purpose Served podcast where we closing in on 100 episodes. Go check out some of the videos that I got on this platform. Um, hopefully that's encouraging enough for you guys. And I got a new podcast that's going to be dropping tomorrow. Reflections of Life. The last one that I just dropped was talking about the wilderness, and how that's needed, and talking about Moses and Jesus, who spent 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness, being tested and purified for the true calling to come. They died to the world, literally. But thank y'all for tapping in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Until next time, serve y'all purpose. Serve y'all purpose.